A Shalom Akim, giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rekha HaKodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us his truth and rule well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Barakatham. It's the brother Kazar from the Men of Al 12 West Coast, coming back at it again with another lesson. And the title of this lesson is going to be, The U.S. is Poking the Bear. All right, and it's going through the inspiration of this article I came across on RT, which is, pretty good source of news, considering, things that's happening, all over the world, So anyways, the title of this article is The U.S. Threatens Russia with Unprecedented Sanctions. All right. And reading on into the article, it says the White House is coordinating a package of high impact restrictive measures to slap on Moscow in case it invades the Ukraine. Okay, if Moscow encroaches on Ukraine's sovereignty, the U.S. will impose sanctions against Russia like no one has ever seen before. All right, and that's what the Vice President Kamala Harris said. Now, this is the thing, with these little, sanctions and things of that nature. It's only so much, you could do until the Russians get tired and just, go to war with you, man. All right. And they're not just going to go to war with the U.S. They're going to go to war with the NATO and the EU, which make up the 10 horns. All right. And this is all biblical prophecy at the end of the day. And, I got the title, through the inspiration of the Russians, national symbol, which is the bear. All right. And all that plays into prophecy as well. OK, because, in the scriptures. All right. It talks about how the Medes are going to destroy America. All right. The Medes, no pity. I think that's how the scripture goes. Okay. Oh, Salakia. Hold on. Oh, of course, I only had it on the New Testament. All right. Just bear with me. So the Medes, and this the book of all right, it's the book of, there we go. The book of Isaiah chapter 13. You also had a few in Jeremiah chapter 51, which is just as good, So it reads, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17, Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Okay, and that's dealing with how, what I'm saying, these Russians, they're going into they're developing their own currency. They don't want to depend on the U.S. dollar as far as the petrol is concerned. They wanna outright take that out and branch off into their own currency. So ultimately, man, they're not going to care about the riches of this place, man. Okay, because they're being sanctioned anyways. They've been sanctioned for years now. But now that, there's this rising tension going on, over the Ukraine. All right. They talking about, we're going to hit you with these sanctions. Like, look, man, them Russians, they don't care no more, man. All right. They're not going to regard silver and they're not going to regard gold, man. Okay. Because that's ultimately what them sanctions are is to cripple their economy, cripple their finances. Okay. So I'm going to read this again. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Okay, and it's talking about the Russians. All right, but it's all spiritual, because the Russians, their national symbol is the bear, right? And if you go into Daniel chapter 7, all right, verse 5, all right, it goes, it says, and another beast, a second, like to a bear. All right, and it's talking about the Medo-Persian Empire in the ancient times. All right, and it says, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Okay, because that Medo-Persian Empire, man, they took over a lot of land. They took over, if I'm not mistaken, it was Lydia, Macedonia, parts of Egypt as well. Northern Egypt, which was Libya. They were taking over places. They went into the Greek land, and I believe, and also to Babylon, That make up the three ribs. Which not to dwell upon, the ancient part of history for too long, but basically, them Russians, in the book of Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17, all right, that's what they're represented by the Medes. It's all just spiritual, how it just how things just come together, man. All right, so the book of Isaiah chapter 13 verse 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, all right, the bear, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. And that's ultimately because, they're going to shoot the missiles over here, man. All right. And the Lord, he is creating the smith and the waster to destroy. Okay. With all these new ICBM missiles that these Russians are developing. Okay. Let's go to that scripture. All right. Book of Isaiah, if I'm not mistaken, is chapter 54. Okay. And verse 16. And it reads, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. And that's talking about them ICBM missiles that these Russians are developing. And not just them, these other nations as well. The 10 beasts, they're going to go against Babylon eventually, according to prophecy. All right. So this place is slated to be destroyed with ICBM thermonuclear missile, man. It's going to be a nuclear paradise up here. Okay. And it's not pleasant at all. All right. So let's go to, I know I had another thing in the scriptures. Let's hit one of those with Jeremiah chapter 51. It might be more on that. Spirit told me to get that. All right. So we're going to go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 11. All right. And we're going to start at verse 10, and it reads, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, our power. And that's what we do when we out there in the highways and hedges, man. All right, that's what we're doing. We're warning our people of what's to come, dealing with the charagma, all right, dealing with the events happening, all over the world. Okay, and ultimately dealing with the downfall of this kingdom, which is going to be by ways of them ICBM thermonuclear missiles. All right, and that's our instruction right there. Hey, that's a good one, that's a good little precept right there. But verse 11, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his device against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, the vengeance of his temple. Set up a standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, and set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes. For Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. And that's talking about America. Okay, not talking about the old land of Babylon. All right, but it's talking about America. All right, in this day and age. Okay, and the Medes is talking about them Russians. All right, and there's many scriptures you could pull out to talk about this as well. But ultimately, I have to just go with these ones specifically because hey, the Lord is raising up them Russians, man. He's raising up the bear because the U.S. keep on poking that bear. All right, but that's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. That's all according to his will. Okay, you have to understand that the Lord is moving mountains, and these mountains is parabolic for these nations, to get us out of our captivity. All right, Salakia, out of our captivity. Okay, so let's go, maybe get a little bit more into that article, Salakia. Get a little bit more into that article. Let me see. Just going to skim through it. All right. And it says in an interview with CBS on Sunday, American Vice President Kamala Harris said that Washington is coordinating its position with allies and is making sure that the Kremlin is aware that the possible consequences of military action. Okay. So they're talking about, high impact economic measures, as it says on this paragraph right here. They won't care, man. All right, the scripture says they're not gonna delight in silver and gold, man. Okay, they're not gonna care about that. They're not gonna regard that, man. All right, it's only so much. Like they just don't care no more. Okay, they just don't care. And at the end of the day, you have, the rest of the 10 horns. The European Union, the NATO. All right, mobilizing against Russia. Okay, and we're gonna go to this other article. All right, let me see. So like, hold on. Where's it at? Knew something around here. Okay, just give me a quick second to find it. All right, we're not gonna go. Oh, there we go. It's right on headlines, man. All right, but there it is. Okay, NATO preparing for war, the Russians claim. All right, and why would they say that? Because they're mobilizing their military. They're developing their technology. They're sharpening up that sword. Okay, which is going into if I'm not mistaken, the book of Joel, chapter 3. Let them beat their plowshares into swords and their pruning hooks into spears. All right, because that's the time that we're in, the time of Armageddon, the time of of our deliverance ultimately. All right, the coming of the day of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That's the times that we're in. Okay, so let me see real quick. All right, let me see if I could just skim through this. All right, so it says, speaking during a briefing for military attaches and other foreign diplomats in Moscow on Monday, the Russian Deputy Defense Minister Alexander Fomin accused NATO of readying up for an all-out war with Russia. The military development of the bloc has been redirected in full to prepare for a large-scale, high-intensity armed conflict with Russia. You see, so on one hand you have the U.S. threatening Russia with sanctions. They've been giving them sanctions. All right, and then on the other hand, you got the NATO and the EU going preparing for war, man, mobilizing their defenses, their military to that front. All right, because they're literally right next to each other if you look at the map. All right, so it says the preparation comes with the expansion of the bloc's military capabilities and is also reflected in NATO's program document, where Moscow has been unequivocally named as the main source of threat to the coalition security. All right, and rightly so, man. Okay, they're growing, and hey, man, it's ultimately Yahweh Shemel Shai that's put in the spirit to do these things, man. All right, now I'm not gonna really read, what I'm saying, too much into this article, because there have been a lot of articles out there that actually show, how this one doesn't really describe it like that, but there's been a lot that show, how NATO is actually mobilizing their military into that eastern front, towards Russia. All right, and then you have these military exercises, that just took place recently on the eastern part of Russia. All right, you see right here. Let me see if I can zoom it in. Okay, I can't zoom it in. Let me see. Try to zoom it in right there. I don't know if Akim can read this, but it's basically on the picture. The caption for that is NATO tanks fire during the night shooting demonstration at Iron Spear 2021 military exercise in Adazi training grounds, Latvia, on October 20th, 2021. So this took place, about a couple months ago. All right, but this is on Eastern Europe. All right, Latvia, hey man, that's Eastern Europe, man. That's right in front of Russia, man. Okay, so hey, the Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is raising up the temperature. So with that, I'm gonna say, Call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rechah HaKodash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Hey man, the U.S. is poking the bear, and that bear is gonna fight back. All right, so with that, I'm gonna say shalom, on to the next.